First of all, how have you been since retirement? Have you been enjoying your time away from the ring?
I have, yeah, I have. It's been lovely not getting punched anymore. But yeah, I mean, it was well documented. I struggled with injuries, so it's been nice having achieved my goal and not having to wake up or go to bed in agony, So it's lovely. I'm really, really enjoying it.
No, definitely. And you mentioned you achieved your goal, and that was, of course, winning the World Championship, which not many fighters get to do. What was it like? Some of the high points in your career, and some of the memories you will savour for the rest of your life.
Well, I mean, even one of them was when I lost to my Sergio Martinez. Taking on the most feared man in the division at the time. He had a real aura about him. I mean, he was coming off the back of a destruction of Sergei Zinzaruk and that devastating knockout from Paul Williams. So no one wanted to go near him. So to go out to Atlantic City, be topping the bill, all the buzz surrounding the fight out there and putting in the performance I did, that was a high point for me. And that also paved the way and gave me the experience and the self-belief I needed going into the Gill fight. That made me... that gave me so much, that put me in such good stead that without that experience, who knows, I probably don't think I would have won the Gill fight. So, they're two, obviously the Gill was a huge moment for me, and realising a boyhood dream was great, and there's been so many others along the way. Winning the Commonwealth Games in 2002, that was a real honour. Fighting for England, on numerous occasions, more than I can even remember. Every title, winning the British title, that was a buzz. I achieved more than I ever dreamt of. To win every major title, if you like, even from Southern area, starting as a pro, Southern area, Commonwealth, British, two-time European and World Champion. I'm just, I'll still pinch myself now.
No, definitely. And there's been quite a bit of talk recently, of course. You were with Matchroom and you worked closely with Eddie Hearn, and no one, I don't think, will forget in a hurry that massive night at Wembley Stadium between Froch and Groves. But since then, there's been a lot of talk of British fighters going abroad to fight, and should Eddie maybe pay a bit more for the purse bids to bring the fights over here? I mean, what are your thoughts on that, being a fighter that's gone over to people's backyards and fought for world titles?
Obviously Eddie has a big say in what goes on, but at the end of the day, if the opportunity's there, like it was for me against Gill, it was a bit different because I was a voluntary challenger, I wasn't a mandatory. So we didn't have the pulling power there, Gary Shaw was the promoter of Daniel Gill, and basically he wanted it in the States to build his profile, and we had to take the opportunity. It wasn't for great money, but I wanted, and I believed I could win that fight so much. So they were gambles I was going to take and the risks I was willing to take. But, it's a difficult one. It's getting the fine line between... I mean, Eddie, I know Eddie really well. We're friends. And he has the fighter's interest at heart, regardless of what some people might say. And I think he goes against the grain a lot of the time against, with other promoters out there. Eddie generally does care about the fighters, and he does strike up a relationship with most of them. And... between him, managers and fighters, I'm sure they'll all make the right decision. But, hats off to the fighters that do go abroad, because it is that little bit tougher.
No, definitely. And we're seeing a few more British fighters signing for foreign promoters as well. We've seen the likes of course, Anthony Ogogo sign with Golden Boy, and then we've had George Groves and David Price signing for the Sauerland brothers, and Martin Murray signed for Golden Gloves in South Africa as well. And what do you make of some of the great fighters, British fighters in your old weight division, with Martin Murray winning on the weekend? And it looks like we could have a showdown between Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubank Jr. There's no love lost there by the looks of things.
I mean, British boxing's booming, and it's nice that there is interest from other fighters around the world. Obviously, the main man is Eddie Hearn. There's no two ways about it. I mean, with him and his stable and the back in the sky, he's absolutely huge. And to be honest, it's good there is that interest elsewhere, because Eddie pretty much has his pick of who he wants to promote now, rightly so. I mean, with, like I say, the back in the sky, he's got his dates, he's got the fighters he wants. So it's good that British boxing is branching out worldwide. and I do wish the fighter the best of luck. And the likes of the Billy Joe Saunders, Chris Eubanks fight is another big, huge domestic fight that, you know, not just the boxing fans want to see, sports fans in general. So it's good for the sport. You know, me now being retired, I'm a boxing fan. First and foremost, a British boxing fan. So I'm just eager for, you know, the profile of the sport in this country to keep building and for it to be one on the fourth. And it was for the Fox Grove fight. Continually to do that.
No, definitely. And you mentioned, of course, you're retired now and you're a boxing fan. Can we see you doing some media for some of the Sky shows? Is that something you're keen to get into? Is being a pundit?
Yeah, on a casual basis, you know. It's I've got some good relationships with people there. As I have in to be honest, I've met some fantastic people, and that's one thing I will take out of the sport. I've met some brilliant people, friends for life in boxing, and I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, you know, media's a good thing. I'm busy doing other bits and pieces. I'm just enjoying life, to be honest, yeah. No,
definitely. And you mentioned earlier in the interview, you of course fought for England, and your amateur boxing club was Repton Boxing Club down in Bethnal Green, a very famous club, and you're going to be representing them on Friday night against Tony Adams, of all people, who's representing an Azerbaijan boxing club.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this. It's at York Hall, our home venue, if you like. It's a stone's throw away from the club. It's in Bethnal Green. It's literally just round the corner. I've boxed there many times, and it's a good club bout. You know, it's a club show. Sorry, it's Repton versus the Gabala Sports Club from Azerbaijan, who a lot of people in boxing know, especially in the amateur game, are a tough nation. And we've got some fantastic fighters in Repton, so I'm really looking forward to the show. You know, it's for the Mo Farah Foundation charity, and it really will be a good show. I mean, the standard of boxing will be fantastic anyway, but even if it's not, the venue itself it generates such an atmosphere that it's always a fantastic show. So I can't wait. And yeah, strangely, it's Tony Adams, you know, who's a former pro world champion wrestler, a former pro footballer, but we're both team managers for the sides, and it's I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
No, definitely. Of course, football-wise, you support Chelsea, so would it be trying to get one up over former Arsenal legend and captain?
Yeah, of course. I've seen a bit of Tony recently, and I'm always giving him a few digs here and there, and it's all good banter. We have a laugh, and I'm sure it'll be the same on Friday night.
No, definitely. And one of the things I interviewed Tony earlier this week, and he was saying there's going to be a few former footballers there. I think he mentioned Gary Mabbott's name. Do you know if there's going to be any former Chelsea players there to come along? And I see Frank Bruno's going to be there.
I know it was whether he was away or not on holiday. So if he makes it back in time, he'll make an appearance. But yeah, there'll be some good faces there. Plenty of old sports style, whether it's boxing or football. And like I say, the venue and the quality of the boxing is going to be a fantastic night.
Definitely. And I mean, for people that perhaps haven't bought a ticket yet and to amateur clubs, what can we expect from some of the young and up and coming boxers, both from Repton and from Azerbaijan?
Well, like I say, I mean, the Azerbaijan boxers I've always been a force, more since I've ever known in amateur boxing, and I know a lot of their top fighters do come from the Gabala Sports Club, and then they filter into the national team. And I mean, Repton, I'm not being biased myself, but you just have to look at the pedigree and the standard of fighters that have come through that club in the past years. I mean, some tremendous champions, hundreds and hundreds of ABA champions, England representatives and Olympic medalists, multi-nation medalists, and you will see some of them fighters on Friday night. You know, we've got some young talent coming through who will be looking to push on, you know, and represent England in future tournaments. And the same as Azerbaijan. I'm sure there'll be big names that you're going to see in future Olympics and whatnot. And not only that, future professional stars, whether it's they're from Repton or the Gabala Club. So there'll be some real talent on show on Friday night. And if you are about and you ain't got any plans, get down there. You know, I'm plugging the show, but I mean, if you're a fan of boxing, I just want a good night out, get down, because it's going to be a tremendous show.
No, definitely. And you mentioned like you're doing this with Repton, and used to be with Tony Sims's gym. And do you still pop down to the gym every now and again? And I mean, it's a great stable that Tony Sims has got there with the likes of Anthony Joshua, Kevin Mitchell, Ricky Burns, John Ryder. Do you still pop down there? Have a bit of a?
I was down there last week. I was down there last Monday, and. Yeah, I pop down as much as I can. You know, I miss Tony. He's like, I don't know, he's like a family member now. We're so close. We'll be friends for life. And we speak to each other all the time. I was just on the phone to him earlier today. He's up in Scotland, obviously. He went down there. He went up there on Monday. Yes, we were in our Tuesday, so he's retired last, can't remember the days. Yeah, no, he went up there yesterday with Ricky. I miss all the lads, I miss the banter in the gym. That is the only thing I miss, but that's because I've been surrounded with, by good people for 20 years, so I'll always miss that. But yeah, he's got a tremendous stable, some real talent there, some real characters, and I'm so pleased for Tony, because I think he's Roy used to be a very underrated trainer, but obviously he's had me from day one, and I owe a lot to Tony because he really brought me on. If anyone knew me as an amateur boxer, I was right off before I'd even turn pro, because I said, that he'd never make it a style for him. That's all credit to Tony for moulding me into, I'd like to think, a good professional that, went on to win a world title. So I'm chuffed, and I'm glad I do still keep in contact with him.
No, definitely. Well, that's all the questions I've got for you, Darren. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck with all the media work. And I'm going to be popping down to the York Hall on Friday for what should be a really good evening, and look forward to catching up with you then in person.
Yeah, nice fun. Take care. I'll see you Friday.
All right, will do. Take care, Darren.
Have a good evening, mate.
All right, you too. Bye.